When you have a problem with a uPVC or aluminium window, most people would assume that it needs to be replaced. However, there are many parts that can be replaced on these windows. So in this video, I'll show you what can be repaired so you can decide if you repair or replace. I'm Richard Lannon, rhymes with Cannon, and this is Glazing Insider. A special thank you to Bloors Aluminium Glazing for allowing me to use their showroom to make this video. So to start off with, we'll look at the handle. The handle is a contact point, so it gets a lot of use, and handles can very easily be replaced. Literally 2 screws, one up here and one underneath, is all you need to take off to remove this handle, and then you can buy a replacement from many different trade outlets. The only thing you need to consider is the size of the spindle at the back of the handle. This will need to be the same size for your replacement handle. Replacing handles is also a good option if you're just looking for a change. Say you want to match your bathroom window handle to the new bathroom, you can change that quite easily. Now, if the window is a little bit hard to operate, some people get a little bit confused thinking it's the handle that's the problem, when really it could be the lock. Now, the first thing I suggest you do here is grease or spray oil into any moving parts of the lock, and then just give it a wiggle on the handle to see if that helps. Sometimes that's all you need. If you're still having issues with this, you may need to replace the lock. Now, this is something that I tend to recommend as a specialist. This is not to say that a DIYer couldn't do it themselves. It can be done, but there are so many different types of locking mechanism out there, you'd probably be better off with a professional. Next up are the seals. So anything that sits in the lip of the chamber here that gets tarnished or damaged, they can actually be replaced. But again, you may need to use a professional to find the right gasket that fits in. I always recommend going back to the manufacturer or your installer, because they may have some gasket around that they can just fix it with. You won't have to buy a whole bucket of gasket just to repair one window. If you find you've got gaps in the window when it's closed, if they're on the hinge side, it tends to be a hinge issue. So hinges can be replaced in pairs, and ultimately it will help to bring the window back in. If you get any gaps on the locking side, it tends to be a locking issue. So again, you don't need to replace the window. You can just either change a lock or a set of hinges. Finally, we have the glass. Now, sometimes sealed units will break down, the seal will be no longer intact. It will allow air and water vapor into the unit, and then it usually stays in there. Now, initially it won't look too bad, it will be hardly noticeable, but over time it will get worse, and then eventually water will stay inside the unit all the time. Now, while this isn't a security issue, the unit won't crack or break in any way, it tends to become an eyesore, and that's when people look at replacing. Now, for most window systems, this is a very easy swap. A full replacement sealed unit is the option to go for, and it will save you the full cost of a full replacement window. Now, while this window only has one sealed unit, if you are looking at a window that has multiple sealed units that have gone, there is an option to consider a full replacement window in that scenario, because ultimately replacement sealed units are the biggest cost when it comes to repairs. But if it's a window, say with 2 or 3 panes in there and only one has gone, it does give you the opportunity to save a little bit of money and replace just the one unit. Now, while I've given you plenty of opportunity to keep your existing window, if you're ultimately not happy with the way the window opens, or you think it would be more convenient if it opened a different way, now may be the time to take that repair money and invest in a new window. But if you're happy with its current design and its finishes, there is no reason why you can't keep it. If you've got any questions about this video, feel free to leave them down in the comments. Otherwise, thank you for watching. Until next time.